The concept of enclothed cognition often simplifies how wearing specific garments, like a crisp uniform, can alter mental states. This effect extends beyond mere role-playing, demonstrating the brain's profound capacity for symbolic integration, where an external object becomes a psychological prosthetic. Our minds don't simply perceive fabric, they subconsciously absorb the historical and cultural weight associated with certain attire, embedding it into an extended self-concept. This phenomenon involves a continuous, unconscious calibration of internal states in response to external visual and tactile cues, establishing a feedback loop where perceived competence genuinely enhances actual cognitive performance. We essentially offload facets of our self-identity onto clothing, which then broadcasts signals that subtly modify our behavior and sense of confidence, effectively distributing the self across our chosen apparel. Beyond visual aesthetics, the very feel of clothes against our skin plays a critical, often overlooked, role in shaping our confidence. The somatosensory cortex actively processes details like fabric texture, weight, and drape, sending subconscious signals that influence our mood and executive functions. A luxurious silk, for example, might evoke feelings of comfort and fluidity, subtly enhancing a sense of ease, while rough, restrictive material can trigger mild physiological stress. This continuous tactile feedback creates a direct conduit between our skin and our emotional regulation centers, forming a kind of skin-brain connection that primes our mental state. The proprioceptive input from how clothing moves with our body or restricts it contributes significantly to our overall bodily self-awareness and, consequently, our perceived capability. Specific articles of clothing carry an inherent gravitas, not solely due to modern marketing, but because they are imbued with centuries of social and historical meaning. Consider the deep purple dyes of ancient Rome, once reserved exclusively for emperors and high-ranking officials through strict sumptuary laws. These historical associations, connecting certain materials or styles with power, wealth, or specific societal roles, subconsciously inform our contemporary perceptions. The modern tailored suit, for instance, draws its authority from a long lineage of formal attire, associated with aristocracy and burgeoning capitalism, retaining an echo of that historical prestige. This unconscious absorption of cultural inheritance means that when we wear certain items, we aren't just wearing fabric, we are donning a condensed history of power dynamics and social stratification, which subtly influences our self-assurance. Our confidence in clothing is profoundly linked to how we anticipate others will perceive us, and how that projected perception then reflects back into our internal sense of self. This involves an active process of theory of mind, where we simulate social interactions, using our attire as a preemptive psychological tool for managing perceived judgments. Clothing acts as both a social shield, protecting us from unwanted scrutiny, and a signal amplifier, broadcasting desired traits like competence or approachability before a single word is spoken. We are essentially constructing a future self-image, optimizing our appearance to align with the social outcomes we desire, creating a subtle, self-fulfilling prophecy. The clothes we choose are not just for our current self, but for the self we project and hope to become, reflecting an ongoing negotiation with our social environment. The feeling of enhanced confidence from certain clothes isn't purely psychological. It also has a neurochemical basis within the brain. When we perceive ourselves positively, especially amplified by attire, it can activate reward pathways, leading to a release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and motivation. Similarly, feeling accepted or respected due to our appearance might influence serotonin levels, impacting mood and social status perception. This creates a subtle neurochemical feedback loop. The choice of clothing influences self-perception, which then triggers a cascade of neurotransmitter releases, reinforcing the positive emotional state. The brain interprets these positive internal signals, linking the external choice of attire with an internal sense of well-being and efficacy, making clothes, in a sense, a modulator of our inner chemistry.